Alrighty, we'll jump in and get started to our last session 10, building a custom lesson with AI. So this is the final session in our summer webinar series. So we're so glad that you're here, whether you're joining us in person right now, or if you've been watching the recordings every week. We are so glad to have you here. Today, we're going to explore how you can create fully customized lessons in minutes using AI like PAWfessor Bruce. And stick around because we'll have some wrap up and announce our giveaway winner. I'm Alyssa. So today we have two big goals here. One is to show you how AI can make lesson planning faster, easier, and more creative. And two, to share how AI can personalize learning for your students without adding extra work to your plate. So by the end of this session, you'll know exactly how to turn an idea into a fully customized, ready to launch lesson in minutes. Before we jump in, here is a quick look at what Scholar Education is all about if you're new here. So Scholar is an AI-powered platform built by teachers for teachers. So everything from lesson planning and grading support to IEP documentation is all designed with real classrooms in mind. At the heart of Scholar are our two AI-powered Bernedoodles, PAWfessor Bruce, who supports the teachers, and Baxterbot, who supports students. And yes, they're based on real-life dogs, and they're from one of our founders. So we chose this because we wanted it to feel warm and approachable, while also not coming across like the AI is a real person. So you can think of them as your extra set of hands in the classroom, ready to help whenever you need them. So now that you know who Bruce and Baxter are, let's step back for a moment and talk about the tech behind them, which is AI, artificial intelligence. And you don't need to be a tech expert to understand the basics. Knowing a little bit about how AI works can help you use it more effectively in your classroom. So artificial intelligence is a broad term that covers many types of technology that try to mimic human thinking or behavior. So, some examples include machine learning, like when Netflix recommends a show based on other shows you've watched, deep learning, which is used in things like AI voice assistants and self driving cars, and now generative AI and like tools like ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, Claude that are actually creating brand new content. So Scholar uses generative AI powered by LLMs or large language models to support teachers and students in real time. And it's also worth noting that using AI in education isn't new. We've been tools like iExcel, iReady, plagiarism checkers have been powered by AI for years in some way. So this big shift is now in generative AI is creating the new content instead of just analyzing it. And that shift opens up so many possibilities, but it can also mean that we have to be thoughtful about how we use those tools in the classroom. And that is one of the reasons Scholar was built. So, what does generative AI look like in action, especially in a classroom? With Scholar, AI can generate standards, aligns lessons and activities in minutes, assist with grading and giving timely, targeted, specific feedback. It can personalize student support based on reading level, language needs, and their accommodations, and save you hours on everyday tasks like warm ups, newsletters, emails, assignments. And so that's just the start. Today, we're going to walk through exactly how you go from an idea to a ready to launch lesson so you can see those benefits in action step by step. Let's quickly talk about one key skill that makes AI work better for you, which is prompt engineering. It's not as technical as it sounds. If you've ever given clear directions to your students, you've already done it. So think about when you give students an open ended task. If you just say, write something about what you learned, you'll get all kinds of results. Some might be great and some are not going to be. But when you say, write a one paragraph reflection on our science experiment using at least two vocabulary words and an example, the quality and focus of that student work improves tremendously. And that's prompt engineering. It's giving clear, specific directions to AI so it knows what you want and how to deliver it. When working with BruceBot or tools like ChatGPT and Copilot, The more details you include, the better your results are going to be. So if we look at this example here, a basic prompt would be to write questions for To Kill a Mockingbird. But an even better one is you're telling it to act as a ninth grade teacher. So it knows the grade level that the questions are going to be for. You specify that you want it to be the first 3 chapters and to focus on questions on character or tone or metaphors, whatever the case is. Those specific details, that best version is going to be what's going to get you the best output, just like getting a well-written assignment from students. A few other things to keep in mind with most platforms, including Scholar, you can speak your prompt into a microphone. There's speech to text, because sometimes that's just a lot faster, especially if you're brain dumping. You can attach files so it can read a report or worksheet, and then you can ask AI like Bruce to analyze it or build from it. Keep in mind, depending on what you're using, the PII, the personal information, that might be on anything that you're uploading. So if it has any information really about yourself, and especially about any student name, anything like that, to redact it before uploading it. Tools built for teachers like PAWfessor Bruce will automatically redact that PII, but just it's a good practice to remove that. And Bruce, other AI platforms can search the web to find student-friendly resources, a video for your lesson. So just like with students, again, the better input, the better outcome. All right, so now that you know how to give AI clear directions, let's see how that plays out in Scholar. So from your first idea to launching a lesson with your students, it's really simple. The first step you're already familiar with is just starting with your idea, whether that's a specific standard you're teaching, a topic students are excited about, a specific skill you need to cover. You can create it from scratch, or use AI as your co-planner, or start with Scholar's pre-made lessons in our library. And then you'll personalize it. So you use PAWfessor Bruce to adapt content, add scaffolds, or integrate your own resources. So AI can make it really easy to tweak activities so they fit your students perfectly. And then ultimately you'll launch and reflect. So with one click, you can send the lesson to your students in platforms built for education, like Scholar, as they work. So Scholar will track that interaction. You can see what's working, where students might need extra support. And this process will take minutes instead of hours of planning, searching, finding, compiling. So you can focus on teaching and hopefully get out when that bell rings. So step one is to build a brand new lesson. You'll start by clicking plan in our platform, and you can either create with AI or completely start from scratch. So this screenshot is from our create with AI. The difference in our platform is if you already have an idea or a previous lesson plan you're working off of, even if when you choose start from scratch, PAWfessor Bruce will be there to support you and guide you. You can still use him or any AI to level text, generate questions, and support students. So either way, you're going to start with a few basics, the grade level and subject. So this in our platform and other platforms built for education are going to be drop-down menus. So this is the first steps of prompt engineering. Just like in that prompt we looked at, you'll talk about ninth grade class, you're putting in ninth grade so it knows who to tailor the lesson to. Also, you'll add whatever classes, you can select them all or just specific classes, how many lessons you want. Is this just a single day lesson, just a small activity, or is it going to be your whole unit? Do you want to generate a whole unit? You'll give some context, and this is where things can really make a huge difference. So if you say something like students can use context clues to figure out unknown words or fiction texts, or create a lesson around soccer. My students are obsessed. So those specifics are really going to help tailor it to your students. So even if you're not a soccer expert, Bruce can help you tie the topic they're into what students are learning. And that kind of personalization can go such a long way. In our platform, we have our state standards built in. So it's just a drop-down menu, and you can combine the standards with with additional context, or you can just use one or the other. Just again, the more information that you can give, the better output that you'll get. Now, once you create the lesson, this is what it looks like in Scholar once you've built it, and you have the option to add BaxterBot instructions. So BaxterBot, which we introduced at the beginning, he is the student assistant. So here's where you can give him exactly how to support students, like quiz them on vocabulary in a game format or act as a coach to help with paragraph structure. BaxterBot will be there on the student side to support them always, unless you turn him off, because as the teacher, you're always in control. But he knows the context of the lesson, he knows their grade level, their reading level. And adding in BaxterBot instructions can tailor him even more to your lesson. So maybe you know all your kids are obsessed with Pokemon. So you want to tell him to use Pokemon examples in every time he talks to students. Or maybe you want him to act as a character in the book you're reading. The options are really endless. Then you can go ahead and add activities. So maybe you want to add a bell work, an exit ticket, some independent practice, even a group task. So you can build it from scratch, or you can have Bruce just start to generate ideas from you if you're not sure where to get started. Everything, of course, is fully editable. So Bruce gives you directions for an activity. You can copy and paste. You can tweak any wording. You can remove steps. You can ask him to level it up or level it down if you don't feel like it's appropriate and you want to rework the whole thing for your specific students. And if you want to add visuals and links, he can help you do that too. He can search the web for you. And so whatever you need, he can do it. And then lastly, you'll add in your questions. So if your activity calls for them, if it's something like a gallery walk, a group poster presentation, maybe there aren't embedded questions, and that makes sense. We don't expect kids to be on their computers all day. So you might just be using it for that BaxterBot support and for giving directions that students have access to. But if you do want to include questions, you can add multiple choice or freeform or both, a combination, and Bruce will suggest questions based off your lesson. So you can edit them, rewrite them, or save them as is. And then if you're not fully ready to build a lesson from scratch, you can start with a template from the Scholar library, which we'll talk more about in a moment. But before we move on to that Scholar library, let's look at just a few easy ways that AI can help differentiate your lessons. PAWfessor Bruce can, or any AI, so again, ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, whatever you're using in your school, can adjust the reading level quickly and easily if you have text from your curriculum that you just want to modify. You can also modify the tone and format. So this can be really helpful if you've got a lesson that you like, but maybe it was for a different class or level. You taught third grade and now you're teaching fifth grade. You taught Algebra 2 and now you're teaching Algebra 1. AI can help you modify the lesson to that new grade level. And then maybe it's just a project that you really like to do, but you want to now make it a group project. Any AI tool like PAWfessor Bruce can rewrite those directions for you in seconds and even help you create things like a partner rubric. You can target specific accommodations. So in a platform that the students use, especially, you can easily embed those supports like vocabulary lists, scaffolded questions, prompts for attention, anything like that. But even if you're not using a program like ours that has that student part, AI, you can use that prompt engineering, and AI can help you create custom ways to support those students throughout your lessons. And if you're using Scholar, you have access to automatic differentiation with BaxterBot because he's tailoring every interaction he has with students automatically based on their grade level, their reading level, their native language, and then he has built-in ESC accommodation support. With Scholar's pre-made library, you can use it to fully customize. So When you go to the library, you can search by grade, you can search by subject, you can type in this example on screen, I'm looking at some back to school lessons. So if I'm looking for a back to school lesson I want to give to my kids, I can look, I can peruse and see if this is something that makes sense. And if it's not, I can always go back and choose a different one. When I find something that I like, I can add it to my units, which will automatically mean I can edit it for my students, completely customize it. Using this template, I can look at the activity that's built in, and then I can look and say, I want to change this question. Instead of 3 examples, I actually only want 2 examples, but I also want some deeper thinking. I want them to write in a reflection. So I can add in another question. This is fully customizable for my students and my teaching style. So if you have a different teaching style, you can really help tailor it. And PAWfessor Bruce is there to help you with this as well. If you want to do a bigger overhaul and save some time, this was set up for a partner activity. Maybe you want groups of 3 because you have a pretty large class and that makes more sense for you. You can go ahead and adjust that in any way that you need. And so these pre-built ones let you see what's possible with AI, not only within the program, but also those Baxter bot instructions. You can see all the different possibilities if you're not sure where to get started. And here's a quick glance at the student side. You'll see when they log in, they always have access to Baxterbot because again, he is personalizing every conversation with them due to the information he has in their student profile. So you can talk to him and they have access to the accommodation toolbox, and everything there with a lightning bolt is automatically tracked to make it easier for teachers. All student accommodations are listed because we've seen that how helpful it is for students it really improves their self-advocacy when they can see the list of their accommodations. We also have within our profile here, you can see on the student side, when they look at all their lessons, there's some small icons, and that will automatically let them see if there's something they haven't finished, which is also really helpful for students if they're not sure if they submitted that assignment. Instead of going and searching through every assignment, they can look really quickly and see, okay, that one has been submitted. That one's graded. This is still to do. I still have to go ahead and finish that and submit it. And if you're not using Scholar yet, we've still got you covered. We have a free Bruce prompt library with plug and play ideas for lesson planning, accommodations, warm-ups, newsletters, and more. I know as a teacher, I always struggled with kind of like writing a classroom newsletter. And at the end of the day, I'm sure most people can understand this is when your brain is just so tired at the end of the day, composing a really clear parent email sometimes is a big struggle. So these prompts will help save you so much time and energy and can be used with any AI tool, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, whatever is most accessible for you. And then, so before we wrapped up, you can a couple takeaways. Grab the Bruce Boss prompts library, try one this week. And then if you are using Scholar, don't forget there's over 160 customizable lessons. And then the reminder that the link that you're watching this on has all of our done in the series, so you feel you can go back and watch them if you haven't seen all of them, or rewatch them. Let's save you some time this school year. Alrighty, so now to announce the winner of our giveaway, and we will email this person and let them know that they've won as well. So the winner is going to be Marsha Source. So congratulations to Marsha. Don't forget, your PD certificate is ready, so you can log your attendance across all the sessions and earn up to 5 hours of credit, and that includes both the live and recorded sessions. Thank you so much for joining us today. You're doing incredible work, and have a great school year.